Our next case, 1980 cold case arrest. This comes from WPIX in New York.
My God. Good. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, had been church at 9.5 years.
Lorraine Snell was just 19 years old when the legal secretary was found strangled in the back seat of a station wagon, and her cousin's husband was always the person of interest.
And I knew from day one that it was him.
Nearly 40 years later, James Burris, who calls himself a bishop at the Christian Center he runs out of his Staten Island garage, was charged with Snell's murder.
Oh my God, Lorraine got her justice. That's all I wanted to know. My daughter, my poor daughter, oh God.
The teen's mom couldn't contain her emotions when we showed her the photo of Burris in cuffs.
It's been a long time we were waiting.
Pearl Snell Holder first sent a letter to me in 2014, worried her daughter's evidence might be lost and the case forgotten. At the time, we found Bishop Burris at his garage.
I wanted to ask you about the last time that you saw Lorraine Snell.
Who?
His memory was jarred when we mentioned Lorraine was related to his wife.
My wife's cousin.
The bishop acknowledged he saw Lorraine at Brooklyn's Midwood Terrace the night before her murder, where the teen went to pick up invitations for her engagement party and walked her part of the way home.
Went one way and I watched her go up by her block.
Burris robbed a cab stand the same night and used that as an alibi. DNA technology wasn't even utilized at the time.
Those cops checked me out from head to toe. They had a guy come in and pick under my nails.
Burris remained free for nearly 6 years after our interview.
You listen to everything that I have to tell you, and you stuck with me until today. Mary, I love you so much.
Moving words from a mother who's very grateful to the Brooklyn DA for using enhanced science to make the case, and the cold case cops who gave prosecutors the tools they needed to get a murder indictment.
And I have to thank the detective.
Pearl Snell Holder's children hugged her after the DA's office called her on the phone before her family joined her in court to watch Burris formally charged with murder.
So how does this new technology help solve old crimes? This one 40 years old. Thinking about 1980, that's a long time ago. How much have things changed in the last 40 years in the way things are investigated and what we can do with some of the physical evidence?
Vinny, I think both me and your other guests were around that time in law enforcement. I can tell you that things have changed a lot. You didn't have the computerized fingerprint data systems. You didn't have DNA. You didn't have cell phones. You didn't have cameras everywhere. You didn't have genealogy sites. I mean, it is amazing. It's a good time technologically for law enforcement. If I were somebody that committed a crime like murder years ago, I'd be getting very uncomfortable right now because of all the technology out there. And I have a feeling that it causes people maybe to be a little sloppy, too, because you start panicking maybe and changing things up or saying things that you normally wouldn't have said. So it's a good year, a good time for law enforcement with all this technology.
Ted Golden, Donald Schweitzer, great to have your insight tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Vinny.
Good to be here.